Can you go into the political division? How can we fix that? How can we hold politicians responsible to create unity in America, to speak the truth instead of speaking for their party?
Yeah. I mean, we have to have better dialogue, right? And our politicians have to really take a moment and listen to the regular folks, right? Now, I say regular folks, not anybody way to one side, way to the other side. Those aren't most folks. They may be the most vocal, no matter on what side you're talking about, but they're not most people, right? They're not the majority of the people. And this is why sometimes I think there's that misunderstanding that because they're the most vocal, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. They need to find and talk to those people in the middle of the road, the majority of Americans, right? That are maybe asking for help, or like we talked about earlier, the veterans that may need some help. Go and reach out to those folks. Not just to the extremes. And so when politicians are only listening to the extremes, their decisions are going to be extreme.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, what other way are you going to go if that's what you're listening to? So
Do you feel that social media has played a role in dividing the country? Because before, people were not hearing each other's thoughts on a daily basis, and I think I have experienced that. Like, maybe in my naive ways, I thought most people thought the way I did, so it was a little bit shocking to me and I being in the service, I was in the USS Nimitz with over 5,000 people. And that's probably why it's shocking to me to see all this division, because I was I could hardly speak English. I have a problem with that still. But in the USS Nimitz, there were over 5,000 people from all over the world, from all over the US, from the South, from the North, everywhere. But I could not tell you that I experienced any issues with race or anybody that treated me differently because I spoke broken English or because I was Dominican. So it's shocking for me to see so much division now in 2024 versus early 90s with people from all over America. I was not treated unfairly. So what's going on?
Yeah, I think what we spoke earlier, the commonalities. So, everybody on the Nimitz is focused on common missions, right? What brought you together? You're a serviceman, I'm a service member. I'm here serving. We have a job to do. So even if you have those differences, but understanding that this is the road ahead to success and making things better and safer for our country, that's what we got to get back to. We got to get back to everybody understanding that we all want the same things. Just like we were talking about earlier with the Town of Babel initiative as to quality of life. Doesn't matter whether you're Republican, conservative, Democrat, liberal, whatever label you might call it. We all want to be safe. We want to be secure. We don't want our homes vandalized. We don't want drugs, being sold in houses and endangering kids. None of us want that. So understanding that that's, it's a common grounds. And when you walk on common ground, people are going to walk to that direction together versus all the division. So we have to get back to what makes us Americans. What are our ideals? What do we believe in? When we start looking at that, the focus, then everybody's walking that same path. Right now, everybody's going in different directions. You say, could it be social media? Social media does play a role. There's more and more understandings of how algorithms work. So even if I'm interested in this one political side on things, and if I just travel that route, I'm going to go only that route. We all have to use social media as a better tool, because it is a good tool.
Yeah.
It really could be, right? So I might want to read on this opinion, then switch over, read that opinion, read different people's opinions and look at different things and perspectives, and then you see the algorithms change and not just direct us this way and these people this way and these people this way.
I heard some people mention that they used to be able to watch news that lean right, news that lean left, but like more and more, that's almost impossible to do. How do you
Right.
feel?
I think it is getting harder and harder because it's very similar to social media, right? What the mainstream news has done is they're just directing towards one group, right? They figure, well, we're making money by selling this or some facts, not everything, just some facts, whatever suits this group that I'm selling to. This other station's doing the same thing, right? Versus, just saying, I'm just going to report the facts. Let me just report the facts and let people make up their minds as they see fit. So you have more and more of that where it's kind of imitating social media when you have the algorithms and it's just going in one direction.
So it's pretty sad to say that the money is more important than the freedom in the country. For them.
Right, and that is sad. But we have a capitalist society, and that's okay, right? We believe in our country is a capitalist country. We make money. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with ambition. There's nothing wrong wanting to do better and gain more things. Nothing wrong with it. But what are we going to do with it, right?
Yeah.
And what we're going to do with that information is important. But also us as consumers, just like I was talking about the social media and the algorithms, even with the news channels, people have to take a stand and say, no, I want better facts. I want better news.
The problem that is kind of happening on both sides, maybe, like it would be nice if you could say, oh, this news channel is just telling me the facts, so I'm going to just watch that one. And the other one will have to eventually come back to the truth. But from what I hear and from what I see, it's kind of hard to find that objective news.
Yeah, and again, and that goes back to even when people talking to each other, understanding that just listening. I don't have to agree with you, but it doesn't hurt me to listen. And it's the same. Just listen, right? If you find a news outlet that provides you the facts, you may not agree with the facts. Just listen to them.
As I was saying to you, is I feel that we have to put more responsibility on the political leadership of the country, because let me give you one example. Trying to be careful with how I say this, but I was donating blood in Massapequa a few years back, and those are one of the other instances that made me realize that politicians and the news media does have responsibility for people's actions. Sometimes you have to be careful what you say, because people do get triggered.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the incidents that happened that made me realize, wow, we are divided in some way, is that I was donating blood. This nice lady, about mid-70s, white lady, come to me, and she's helping me, very, very, very nice with me after I donated blood. And then someone came on TV, people will probably know who, and she goes, he needs to be shot in the head, very angry.
Yeah.
And I'm a veteran, so I'm like, I have to respect the office, right? No matter who it is.
Mm-hmm.
I may not like the person in charge, but that's the president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And all I say was, that's the president of the United States. Oh, he's not my president. And I made a mistake of saying, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were from this country. I was being sarcastic.
Yeah.
That was a big mistake. She got so triggered. She got red. She started cursing me out. She said, I'm volunteer here. I'm leaving. I'm done for the day. I'm so disappointed in you. And I say, wow, we have a problem, because if politicians and the news media are causing this kind of reaction in people, we're gonna have a problem.